Good morning, South High School. This is Mr. Formalo again, coming back to you with part 2 of FlexMod, living in FlexMod. I wanted to recap a little bit. I know we had a few technical difficulties, but I also had quite a few questions sent to me just regarding FlexMod, and I wanted to go a little bit more in detail with yesterday's presentation before moving into some of the other things like attendance and things like that. So just that reminder that when in FlexMod, this is an example of what your FlexMod schedule will look like. And I think that just by showing this yesterday, it was a little bit confusing as to what you may have really been looking at. So I wanted to spend a little bit of time really talking about how do mods work. And as I did mention yesterday, I want to re-mention it again today, that each mod, there are 28 mods in a schedule, and each mod is 15 minutes in length. Mods are then combined to create a section for your class. So a class will be a combination of 14 to 16 mods for the week. Now they don't have to be evenly distributed across the 5 days. They can be built up in different ways depending on the day of the week. So a section can be anywhere from 1 mod to 6 mods. And this depends on how the course is designed by the teacher. So to help reemphasize this a little bit, just here are some examples of how sections work. When you look at math, you can see that math is phased in a way that it will meet for 3 mods each day of the week. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, most of our math classes will meet just 3 mods each day of that week. Now keep in mind that you may not have the same teacher each day, but you will meet for that amount of time. And all of those classes will meet in a classroom size of a small group. And when we had talked about that before, a small group is generally a class of anywhere from 20 to 35 students, and pretty similar to the type of instruction that we are accustomed to in our current 7-period day. Moving on to another example, let's look at English. English is phased a little bit differently by how the sections are put together. As you can see, on Monday there's 4 mods in a large group instruction room. Tuesday you wouldn't have class. On Wednesday it would be a 3 mods for a discussion. Thursday it would be 4 mods small group, and then Friday 3 mods for a small group. And just that reminder with English that they're using the large group, this would be in the LGI then on that Monday and would hold anywhere from 90 to 150 students, and most likely all the teachers for that class will be in there that day helping you with instruction. Looking at science, science is a different as well, where they're looking at phasing it in a way that on Monday it would be a 2 mod class, Tuesday it would be a 4 mod class, and so on and so forth. And you can see that science in their 2 mod, on Monday it's a small group, so getting ready for the lab. On Tuesday and Wednesday they're 4 and 3 mod sections, but you would be doing labs. And then you'd wrap it up on a Thursday with a discussion, and then getting back into a small group on Friday for 3 mods. And the discussions, as we mentioned yesterday, this is where you'd be into a small group of anywhere between 10 to 18 students. In the case for science, it would be an opportunity for you in that discussion to go over your lab results in groups, or just to go a little bit deeper with what the results were of the lab that you experienced. And we have social studies that has a small group 3 lab on Monday, a 3 mod medium group on Tuesday, a 4 mod small group on Wednesday, no class on Thursday, and then you would potentially go to a 3 mod medium group on Friday. So you would have 2 medium groups in 1 week. And as we know, the medium groups will be in room 252 or in the LGI depending on placement. And typically this would be an area where you would be in a class with 30 to 90 students. So as you can see, there are different ways that a class can be phased, but I think the rule to really keep in mind is that every Monday will always be the same, every Tuesday will always be the same, and so on and so forth. The difference that we have to recognize that each class is going to be structured a little bit differently, and one of the cool things is that we have a lot of our classes that are doing flexible sections, and this is happening in a lot of our elective based departments where they still have a requirement for a course of 14 to 16 mods, but because of the ability to be flexible on a FlexMod schedule, is that you may only be required to be scheduled with your teacher in a class-based instruction twice a week for 3 mods, equaling a total of 6 mods. And then what would happen is that for the 8 remaining mods that you would have to fulfill the need of that class, you would be able to back schedule that. You'd be able to place them into your schedule, into those areas where you have personal learning time built in, and you would be assigned then to that resource. So an example would be art. Mrs. Batke is only requiring students to do 2 3-mod sections each week. So on Monday, you'd possibly meet for 3 mods to go over some of the basics for art, and then maybe do it again on Thursday. The other 8 mods then, in your schedule, you would be placing in those mods into some of your blank spaces, which are the gray boxes in this colored piece. Then you would just go into the lab and work on your art projects to completion, and Ms. Batke would be there to help you with any questions that you may have. So I hope that gives you a little bit better understanding of how FlexMod is going to work in terms of the structure. And one of the big questions that came up yesterday was lunch. So again, lunch is open. It's an open cafeteria between 10:30 and 12:30. Every student will be getting 2 mods of lunch each day. There are 8 possible lunch configurations per day that you could be assigned to. And it's going to be kind of an open cafeteria style. The school store should be open, and we still have open campus for those of you who choose to leave and eat elsewhere during the day. And just to review the personal learning time, previously we called this a study hall. In FlexMod, this is the free time. So in the free time, there's 2 types. It's independent personal learning time, which is you're doing well academically and behaviorally, and we're going to trust you to be able to take advantage of your own learning opportunities. And then there's structured personal learning time, where we could provide you with a little bit of extra support in the case that you need that in a resource. And an example of how this would look if you are given independent personal learning time is that everywhere you see a red box, the gray boxes that were shaded, this is where you would be able to go. So this is a student with 7 classes, and look at how much free time they still have in their schedule. A scheduled personal learning time is a little bit different in that you are assigned to a resource. So if you're in this situation where you may not be doing so well academically, you need a little extra support academically or behaviorally, your schedule may look something more like this, where you would be assigned to English resource or social studies resource, science resource. You may even need some extra support in band, so you'd be in a band resource. Wherever it may be, is that your free time now is structured, and that would be determined by your teachers, by your counselors, and by other school teams made up of our staff. So I'm hoping that this helps us a little bit more have a better understanding of the structure. And before getting too long, just an opportunity to recap on this piece. And again, we're going to keep going through this stuff starting next week. Again, just kind of having that discussion within your homeroom. Any questions that you have, please communicate them through your homeroom teacher so that we can continue to answer your questions as we go. Thank you and have a great day, South High School.